Alright everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Now this one, obviously today is football related. So Sunderland have a match kicking off in round about 20 odd minutes time. Now my thoughts and opinions on the season, how it's gone, are going to be slightly different to the videos that I did before, simply because I think as a whole our season has come to the point where now it's all or nothing. The last few results have been very disappointing, if I'm honest. I think overall, even when you throw into the ring that the fact that we haven't got Ross Stewart, we haven't got Corey Evans, we haven't got a couple of other players who maybe could have made a bigger difference had they been there. I think still, when you weigh it all up, it's still disappointing to lose ground on the top six of the way we have done. So this particular video I'm doing today is going to concentrate a bit more on what could lie ahead, possibilities, for this season, but I think what more lies ahead, and I think that's going to be the key. So when I say that, I mean the next 6 games are vital. However, next season is even more so, and I'll come back onto that in a minute. So if you take it back about 4-5 weeks ago, when we were in a pretty good position, we were scoring goals and we weren't conceding many. Now the last 2 to 3 games, especially that horrendous 5-1 defeat, which even now it still rankles with me, that one, because it's almost, and I would never ever say that the lads are not trying, but it just felt like they gave up once our third one went in. It's just like crazy, horrendous. So bearing all that in mind, I think today's game is a type of game where if we win it, we are still, I've looked at the table before making this video, if we win it, we're still about 5 points away from a possible playoff spot. So that tells you the mountain that we've got to climb now. We have to put a run together, 3-4 wins, maybe something like that, or even 2 or 3 wins and maybe a draw or 2, to even just keep up with the pack, because the likes of Middlesbrough have just gone on a bloody storm and run. Even likes of Luton and teams like that who are now above us. We beat Middlesbrough 2-0. We've beaten all these other teams that are around us now, and now all of a sudden we cannot just keep a run going. We cannot keep a clean sheet. And now, sorry, I'm looking there, I might be seeing things, but could have swore I saw an orb. But anyway, we'll come back to that later on. That's for another video. But yeah, could have sworn I saw one there. Right, so we'll get back to matters in hand. So the form has dipped. Confidence has certainly took a dip. The goals tally has took a dip. Everything's just not on a downward spiral, but it's plateaued out. It's all plateaued out to the point now where, and I'm going to caption the video, can we get top 6 or will it be next season? And I think, me personally, I now think it'll be next season, if I'm honest. If we don't win today, definitely next season. If we win today, possibilities. But like I said, the pack has got a gap on us now, and we have to catch that up. We have to win like 2, 3, 4 games in the run of like 5 or 6 that's next coming up to stand a chance of just keeping the pace. But the games that we've got coming up, I wouldn't really thought we would do that, because they're really good teams that we're going to play next. Norwich today is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Going down to Carrow Road is probably one of the last places where you'd really want to go to, especially on a goddamn Sunday afternoon at bloody 12 o'clock. The supporters, it's a nightmare trip anyway. I've never made it myself, but many people have said it's a nightmare trip to go there. Getting down there is a sodden pain in the butt. But yeah, I think Sky has got this monopoly on games now where they just pick the times that they want to pick, and everyone else just has to roll with it, as that famous band says. So going down to Carrow Road is a very difficult trip. And at this stage of the season where we need points on the board, we need to get a solid run going. This is going to be a very tough test today. Like I said, we're not scoring that many goals, and we're leaking goals at the back now. We have to stand any chance today. We have to keep either level at half time or be one in front at half time. We have to keep a clean sheet, to get the first half over with. That'll be the main thing, because they'll have the crowd behind them. They're on an upward curve. They're ahead of us in the table. All things point, they're at home, like I said, so all things point to them being on, the upward curve and them being more confident than what we are at the minute. However, saying that, we do, if not else, we do have a team of players who will fight, will play the game properly, but will fight for the shirt, if you like. But I would like to see a bit more of that. I'm saying they'll fight for the shirt, but they need to be a bit more tenacious. They need to be a bit more in your face, because teams are doing that to us. They're hacking us all over the place. The referee's doing nothing about it. We do one on them and then we get booked for it. And so we have to do the same to them, what they're doing to us. And then a little bit more to get on with, as my dear mother would have said, bless her. So, team, I'm going to go, I'm looking over here because I've got the sheet here. This is Tony Mowbray's team. Patterson in goal, obviously. Hume, Ballard, Bath, O'Nien. That's the way I'm thinking he's going at the back. Because in the midfield, he's got Barr, Neil, Michoud and Roberts. Clark, up front Gelhardt. Now, that says that I'll come on to my team in a minute because I've done my team underneath. But two things that immediately says to me, reading that team there. I'm going to come on to it now. Now, the first one is, it's not a defensive team in as such that we're just going to sit back and soak up the pressure and all that, because it's not. Because you've got the likes of Roberts, you've got the likes of Clark, you've got Gelhardt, who like to get forward, and Barr likes to get forward as well. It's the worrying bit for me. This is the second point, is Neil and Michoud. Now, Dan Neil, local lad, love him to bits. He's one of our own. Michoud, he's learning, all about the championship and stuff, and he's great pedigree, come from PSG, Mbappe, and played alongside the likes of them. But Neil and Michoud haven't been firing for me in the midfield, and I'll come on to my team in a minute about that. But the worry I've got there is that we'll be overrunning midfield again, like we have been in the last few games that I've been watching. So yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be hard for the defence today, very hard, because like I said before, we really need to keep a clean sheet, at least, for the half-hour mark, to get our footing in the game. 25 minutes, half hour, because the crowd will be up for them, and they'll be on the front foot and all that. So we have to stop that. We have to counteract that. But I do worry with Neil and Michoud in the midfield, whether we can do that or not. Up front, like I said, we've got Gelhardt up front, who scored his first goal for the club the other game. He hasn't got quite as many as what I was hoping, but then again, to be fair to him, he hasn't really had the service, to do that. So, and he's up front on his own. That's not, that's not happening. He shouldn't. Ross Stewart can, because he's that type of player. He's tall, he's big, strong, and hold the ball up and bring people into the play, let the midfield get forward and support him. Whereas Gelhardt doesn't really do it that way. He needs the ball more to feet. He needs people around him to help their attack going and stuff. And I'm hoping that Clark, Roberts and Barr are the ones that will do that. And that leaves Neil and Michoud in the midfield to try and, keep the defensive line organised. Hoping that's it. Now, I'll come on to my team. So, Mowbray's team is that. I'll run through it once more quickly. So you've got Patterson, Hume, Ballard, Bath, O'Nien, Barr, Neil, Michu, Roberts and Clark, Geldhard up front. My team would be Pato in goal, same back line except for where you get to the left back. I would have Hume right back, Ballard, Bath, Anderson would be my left back today. I would have Joe Anderson in at left back today, simply because that would enable O'Nien to sit in front of the back four. It's not his perfect position, because if I'm honest, I would like him just in front of the midfield to support the attack, because I think he's better going forward. You know, he creates things, he can do things like that. He does tend to get into tangles and yellow cards and all the rest of it. So at the back would be, you know, maybe it might be a bit better for him if he, you know, he might not be involved as much in that position in front of the back four, where he can snuff things out before they happen, so he doesn't have to make that challenge. That's a theory of mine. We'll see if it works, you know. So my team at the back: Hume, Ballard, Bath, Anderson, O'Nien sitting in front of those four. So that's a 4-1. Then I would have 3 and 2. So my 3 would be Jewson Bennett. That's my other change. And Ekwah I would have in the midfield as well, with Roberts and Clark, Barr and Geldhard. Now I think with those you have got a more solid, you've got a more solid attacking lineup there going forward. So bearing in mind what I said, you've got the 4 and the 1, that's your defence with your goalkeeper. So you've effectively got 6 people, you know, that should be enough in anyone's language to allow Roberts on the right, Clark on the left, then you'd have Bennett, Ekwah, and then you'd have you would have Barr in the midfield. I'm just looking at my formation. 4-1, 4-1. Until, I would say, the first half, keep it because we've been leaking goals better than anyone else has leaked goals recently. So that would solidify things up, having that 4 in the midfield as well as 4-1 at the back. So just to keep it solid till half time and then make a push. You can maybe go 4-1-3-2 by pushing Barr up with Geldhard or anyone else for that matter. You could have Ekwah up, you could have Clark, even Roberts, you know. So 4-1-4-1 to start off with, get the foothold on the game, bring the team into play a bit more, try not to concede. The first bloody goal is vital. Try not to concede that. Let us get the first goal and try and get on the front foot. But it's all or nothing now, you know. I mean, I love that song, Spell of Faces. But it is all or nothing. This is where the season will be judged now, I think. The next 6 games properly will be judged. We need to stay at least in the mid-table. So, if we're not going to get promoted, we'll get a reasonable finish where they can build on that for next season. And that's where I'll come in now about next season. I think Ross Stewart, I've heard, is close to signing a contract. So if that's the case, if Ross Stewart signs the contract and we get 3 or 4, good quality, strong, we need strong, physical, tall players in because we're not a very tall side. We need about 3 or 4 of them in, 1 in defence and a couple in midfield and another striker to go with Ross Stewart. That's for another video because I've got ideas of how I would do it there. If we did that, if we got another striker in. So yeah, but this game is massive. This game, and like I said, the next 4 or 5 is really going to determine the season. We have to, string a run of results together, because if we don't, in the next 2 or 3 games, if we don't get a couple of wins, we're right out of the picture. We're borderline at the minute. I'm just about on the more positive than negative side at the minute to do it. But yeah, I have got, whereas before, I a few weeks ago, I would have said, no, we would definitely finish top 6. Now I'm saying we might, but we have to go on a run to do it. Goals and stop them going in. Simple as that. But football's never won on paper, so we'll see what happens in the real life. So that's my team compared to Mowbray's. He's got Dan Neil and Michu in the midfield. I wouldn't have them 2 in the midfield. A little bit out of form, especially Dan Neil. I would have in the midfield instead Juicen Bennett, who's quick, lively, pacey. He can support the front, and also he does like to try and help out at the back as well. You know, he's got the pace to do that. Just a young lad. And Ekwah, I really, really like Ekwah. Pierre Ekwah, for me, is a type of player that next season Sunderland need to sign more of that type of player. You know, he's strong, he's physical, mucks in, you know, he doesn't mess about. He's not afraid to do his bit for the team and defend as well as go forward. Ekwah, love him to bits. I think he's a great player. I think Michu will be a great player, but I think at the moment we need a bit more physicality. We need a bit more steel, you know, in the midfield, and he doesn't really offer that. He's more like a sort of like a creative, quick player. You know, he just likes to play football, get in, wave around people, and make a run. Where we don't, at the moment, we need steel in the midfield. There, we need someone solid, someone who can get a tackle in, defend as well as go forward. And Ekwah fits that bill for me. So that's it. So score prediction today. Oh God. I mean, my heart sometimes does ruin my head, sometimes, but it won't on this occasion. However, I'm saying we've got to get a win on the board to make a run going. Can we do it? We could, you know, if we get back to playing how we were before the last 3 or 4 games. We could nick it 2-1, but I'm going to go for 1s each. So you heard it here first. 1s each for me today. Stop the rot of defeats, get a point on the board at least, and then next game take that run on. But I would love to see us win today. Come on, the lads, let's do it. Am I super confident? No, but always in the heart I'm hopeful. Thanks for watching the channel, and a shout out for every single person. I won't name them all now, but you know who they are. Top fan, Mr. Les, and then everybody else knows who they are. So when I do the next video, it will be a music one. It will be probably, I'm off next week sometime, so I'll probably do an update about Wednesday or Thursday of next week, because I've got things in the fire music wise that I'm aiming to do. So a bit more news on that then. But this is for today, football one for today. So take care everybody. Thanks for watching the channel. Subscribe. Those who haven't, please do, because I don't always talk football. I talk everything else as well, my music, and I'm going to do blogs on DVDs and film reviews and all that type of stuff. That's in the future. So thanks for watching. Take care.